Well, some people, when they retire, they get a gold watch. Well, this corrections deputy in Alabama, decided the gold watch wasn't enough. And this officer takes an inmate as her own retirement gift. Well, this and a whole lot more on this episode of Charlie Crime Buster, what some people are calling, the fastest minutes in podcasting. Well, good day and welcome to this episode of Charlie Crime Buster. And hey, let me say a great big happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Now, we're releasing this episode on Mother's Day of 2022. So, happy Mom's Day to all. And by the way, on the Charlie Facebook page, we posted a special message to the moms. On our Facebook page, we posted Charlie salutes all moms on earth and those in heaven on this Mother's Day. We followed that up with a quote. The quote said, "To the world, you are a mom. To our family, you are our world." So, my friend, hop on over to the Facebook page. Keep up with Charlie Crime Buster there. Hit that like button, if you would, please. Just go to facebook.com/Charlie Crime Buster. And if you have not yet done so, please make this a special day for a mom. Well, also this month, we're launching our Peacemaker Network. That's a site for heroes and their supporters. We do honor heroes on this site, those in law enforcement, including all sworn officers, along with brave correction officers, our first responders who run into danger to render us aid, and the brave men and women who hop on a plane, go to distant lands to risk their lives, and even die for our freedom. And now, my friend, you can be a part of the solution. You can become a Peacemaker member for just as little as $3 a month. Did you get that? Just little as $3 a month. And your gift will go directly to support these heroes. Now, you can give more, become a silver badge supporter, gold badge supporter. But you can join. You can join as little as $3 a month. And my friend, let me tell you, we've got something great happening. We've got some people that are helping us out. And for everybody who joins the Peacemaker Network this month, you're going to receive a vacation voucher. That's right. Vacation voucher good for 4-night hotel stay in some of the top 50 cities in America. All the hot spots you would want to visit. This voucher saves you big bucks in your travel. We are fortunate to have partners in the vacation world that are helping us make our heroes very special and making that available to all who join our network this month. Hey, it's over a $600 value. It's our way of saying thank you for your support. All you have to do is pay the taxes and just a small processing fee. So go over to peacemakernetwork.com and check us out today. Now, our main focus of today's podcast, it does involve a correctional officer and an inmate. But now, not just any correctional officer. You see, Vicki White, that's the officer. She is or was an assistant director of corrections in Alabama. She is missing with an inmate who's been accused of capital murder. His name is Casey Cole White. Now, Vicki White and Casey White are not related and they're not married. Just have the same last name, and they're both on the run. So local, state, and federal authorities, including the FBI, the ATF, and the U.S. Marshal Service, and all the local jurisdictions, they're all participating in this nationwide manhunt for the pair. You see, what makes this case so strange is that, Vicki White, she's 56 years of age, and she was what appeared to be a very excellent officer. In fact, she had been voted best supervisor by those who worked for her. And she received the Officer of the Year award not on one occasion, but on several occasions, according to reports. Yes, she was respected by both peers and her sheriff. Now, in fact, you could say the department is shocked. I mean, shocked in awe of the actions of this assistant director. To the point that when this first happened, well, they thought there has to be some mistake. She had either been coerced in some way to aid in this inmate's escape. She would never do anything like that. It is this lady who is now on the run, now with this inmate. Because, my friend, there appears to be two Vicki Whites. That's right. The one that all those people know and respect, and then there's the other one. We're going to tell you about her and about that inmate that she took along as her own retirement gift. She was going to retire, so I guess she thought she'd just take her own retirement gift with her. We're going to tell you about that in just a moment. But right now, it's time for what we call here at Charlie Crimebuster, our Courageous Citizen of the Day story. This is a good one. They all are. Her name was Gina David, and she was on the phone with her fiancé, and she was in panic mode. This was as floodwaters began to rise inside her Ford Focus. You see, she was among hundreds of motorists who got stranded back in August the 11th. That's when Metro Detroit was hit by massive flooding. Now, Gina was a psychology graduate student. She was returning home to Sterling Heights. That's after she turned in a thesis paper at Wayne State University. That's when her car got stuck in deep water. That's near Van Dyke and 13 Mile in Warren. Now, as the waters rose past her waist, well, Gina, she thought she was a goner. Her car door wouldn't open. I'm going to die, she thought. Then a man appeared in her window. She goes on to say, I remember him grabbing me and saying, get out of the car, and he put me on his shoulder. That's what Gina said. Now, the man, he was a guy by the name of Dustin Rowan. Rowan, he was a 25-year-old eye care store manager from Canton. He helped already that day. He actually ended up helping 3 stranded motorists that day. He said the first rescue was an elderly woman, then a man. Then, out of the corner of my eye, I caught her freaking out. He was referring to Gina. And in an interview with Free Press, Rowan explained how he knew he would go after the woman. He was a strong swimmer. He could help. But he made a phone call first. He said, I called my mom, and I said, I love you. I'm going in. It was a risk I knew I was taking, but, well, you kind of don't worry about yourself at that point. And Gina's car was tricky. You see, the door wouldn't open because of the water pressure. Rowan now, who was in chest-deep water, he remembers David. She was panicking. Gina David, she was panicking. He grabbed onto her door handle, put his feet up on the car, and pushed it as hard as he could until finally it broke free. I told her to grab on, and I'd get her out of there, he said, referring to the dry land. Well, Rowan, he slung this woman over his shoulder, made his way through the water, sometimes going under himself. But he got her to safety. Safety there to a nearby Buddy's Pizza shop. He held her hand and comforted her until the ambulance arrived. She was hospitalized, and she was released that night, though. And police, well, they mistakenly reported to the media that she had died in the floods. Why they did that, well, nobody really knows. Rowan, who was stunned at that news, the news that Gina David had died, well, boy, he was sure relieved to learn that that wasn't true. And days later, he met up with Gina, who tracked him down on Facebook. And there, at Buddy's Pizza, the two hugged and they smiled. And Rowan, as most all of our heroes that we mention on the Courageous Citizen story, he said these words, I did what I think everyone would do. He went on to note that he has 4 sisters. Someone needed help, and I can't stand seeing someone who needs help. So, my friend, our Courageous Citizen of the Week is this guy, 25 years of age. They're a manager at an eye care store who risked his own life, was willing to get involved, just didn't go by and forget about it, just didn't call 911, but he also did what he could to save someone else. And that, my friend, is Charlie Crimebuster's Hero of the Week. So now, back to our main focus. We have our 56-year-old retiree. Now, she is missing with the 39-year-old Casey Cole White. Now, both of them have the same last name, but they are not related, as we mentioned. At least, they were not before they escaped. Who knows what's happened since then. And now we're going to tell you how she did that. But now some more about the deputy's retirement package. You see, back in December 2015, police, they had arrested Casey White. That's after authorities determined that he had staged, now, and get this, all of this in one night. A home invasion, 2 carjackings, and multiple shootings in North Alabama and South Tennessee, all in the same night. It left a woman injured, a dog dead. And he was found guilty of all that spree, that crime spree in that one night. Well, he was found guilty of 9 charges, including attempting to murder his ex-girlfriend and kidnapping her 2 roommates. Then he was most recently, the counts of capital murder. Well, he was brought in for the 2020. He was brought in for a murder for hire scheme. That one resulted in the death of Connie Jane Ridgway, who was 59 years of age. Now, incidentally, he confessed that he had done that. Now, get this. By him confessing to another murder that happened in the area, this was what brought him out of the prison back to the county jail for another trial, which was where he escaped with the help of our retiring deputy. Remember, she was retiring. Her last day was the very day that all this took place. Now, I want to ask you, was it just happenstance that brought him back to the jail there? Or was this all planned out ahead? Could it be that his confession about this other person that he said that he murdered for hire, could that be a bogus confession just to get him back to that jail? You see, after all, he was already facing 75 years in prison. In other words, remember that now, he doesn't have much to lose with one more crime while on the run. So, here we have this bad man by the name of Casey. And we have this good Vicki White. Good Vicki White with her retirement gift of bad Casey. But how about the other part of Vicki? The one that a lot of people did not know, even those that were around him. And just how, did they pull this off? Well, my friend, now it appears, after they've investigated more and dug deeper, that Vicki, she had first met Casey back when he was in the county jail prior to his prison sentence. Then, when he left for prison, guess who stayed in touch with each other? Yep. For a whole 2 years. It was the good Vicki. Even though recognized for her work as a correctional officer for Officer of the Year, she was having what the sheriff sadly termed a special relationship with this inmate. Now, the prison officials, they were not aware that Vicki White, who was talking to him on a regular basis, they did not know that she was a leading correctional officer at the Lauderdale County Jail. That's where he'd previously been held. And those at the county jail had no idea that she was talking with White while he was in prison. Bet those talks got very intimate, don't you? So now, he out of the blue, he confesses to another murder. This one a murder for hire. And because of the jurisdiction, it means, it's going to bring him back to the very jail where he had met Vicki. And over time formed that special relationship. Vicki, the assistant director of the jail. Now let me ask you a question. Do you think that was a bogus confession to get him there to the jail so she could help him escape? Had all of this been pre-planned that much in advance? Well, when I tell you how they made that happen, you can decide for yourself. Was the confession real? Or was it just a ruse to get him away from the tight, secure prison all the way to the county jail, whereby a retiring Vicki White was waiting for her retirement gift? That's right, her gift. No gold watch for her. She wants this inmate. That was all before they walked away for the last time. Oh, she walked in her retirement, but someone walked with her. Just how did that happen? Well, we're going to get to that. And also, my friend, we're going to have some words, get this, from our old friend Dog the Bounty Hunter. Yep, it appears he's never seen a camera he did not like. And he's going to tell us how to find this pair on the run. But now, my friend, it is time for our Crazy Crook story. We always tell a Crazy Crook story to lighten the load when some of the dark things we talk about. And this is a good one. This is a man, now get this, who was suspected of arson and vandalism. Well, get this, he decided to send a selfie to the police in Ohio. That's right, a selfie to the police in Ohio because, now get this, he just found that the photo that was on his arrest warrant that was being shown around, well, he thought it was unflattering. You see, Mr. Pugh, Donald Chip Pugh, he did not like his original police photo. So he decided to text police a photo of himself, a selfie. And he wrote, get this, quote, "Here's a better photo. That one is terrible." He went in to tell a local radio station, well, man, they just did me wrong. They put a picture out that made me look like I was a Thundercat or James Brown on the run. I can't do that. And the Lima Police Department, well, they thought, well, we have a pretty dumb guy. So they put out a public statement. They said, we thank him for being helpful, but now we would appreciate it if he would come to speak to us. You see, the police thought maybe if he was crazy enough to send them a better resemblance of himself, just maybe he's crazy enough to come in to speak to us about how we can make the booking pictures more professional. Well, he did not come in to speak with them. But thanks to a better looking picture being distributed, yep, he was nabbed, arrested right here in my home state now of Florida. So just maybe if you don't want your wanted picture, if you don't like the wanted picture of yourself, yep, just go ahead and send them more information that will make them better informed with your selfie. And maybe catch you a little quicker. And then you can have a retake of another booking picture. And that, my friend, is our Crazy Crook story of the week. So now back to our focus. How did our assistant director of an Alabama jail collect her retirement gift of an inmate? Well, it all started maybe when Casey decided to get him transferred back to the county jail, where she had the information and the means needed to spring him. Why else would he confess to a murder that he may or may not have done? So next, she started planning her retirement. So you see, in selling her house to get fast cash, well, that would not appear to be suspicious to anyone, because she was retiring and said she was going to try to move somewhere near the beach. And now she has thousands of dollars to enable them on their escape. Then she purchases another vehicle, this one with an alias. She does not put that one in her name. She uses her alias. So the tags, the registration, well, that's not traced to her. It's another name. And on the day of the escape, she takes that vehicle and parks it at a shopping center not far from the jail, where the cameras are limited. So now they can ditch the patrol car for the getaway car. Next, on that very last day of her work, the day she was retiring, working for the last day, she tells the officers, well, she has to transfer Casey White. You see, it was unknown to the officers that they were in a special relationship. She said she had to transfer him to the courthouse for a mental evaluation. That's something that happens quite often. It's called an eval. And so she tells the officers she's got to transfer him. And she waits now. She waits until the van that's already left with the other inmates due in court. It's already left, you see, so he can't get on that one. And she does that with the idea that he's going to return with them later in the day. So she'll just pick him up, take him out there, and drop him off at the courthouse with the other officers. And there at the court, they'll secure him before and even after the eval. So next, she gets even more creative. Listen to this. She goes on to say to those folks that are working for her, by the way, I'm not feeling good today. So after I drop the inmate off at the courthouse, I'm going to have to drop by a medical center. I got to kind of get checked out and see what's going on with me. Again, this was a ruse to buy more time for their getaway, so nobody would wonder where she was. So she takes him away from the jail, unknown to the others. She takes him straight to the shopping center mall. She leaves her keys, radio, and equipment in the patrol car, all locked up. Then she and her retirement package, inmate Casey White, well, they're off and running. And get this, all because of this careful planning? Well, it really isn't until late in the afternoon of that day. Late in the afternoon of that day, when the other inmates, they're returned to the jail, and suddenly the officers realize Casey White is not with him. He had never been turned over to the security team at the courthouse, and furthermore, investigations found out there was no eval scheduled. That was made up. And I know it doesn't surprise you. Neither was there any doctor's appointment or any visit to the doctor by Vicki. You see, it was then that they tried to reach their assistant director of corrections. They wanted to get her on a cell phone. Only instead of her cell phone, they only got a recording. And you and I can both imagine she left that cell phone behind. She's too smart, knows too much about what happens out there with cell phones. Bet she already had some burner phones already bought that she could use while they were on the run. And listen carefully. They not only now have her 9mm handgun, her duty gun, but they also have an AR-15 rifle and untelling how many other weapons they really have. And so now, there's a national manhunt with arrest warrants and rewards out for both Vicki and Casey. Now, authorities, they're telling us that both of them can change their looks. They can change hair color, hairstyles. He can shave his head. You get it. But there's one thing for sure that they can't change. Listen to this description. He's 6'9". Well, he's somewhere around 250 pounds. She's 5'6", maybe. Weighs 140. She's 56. He's 39. So you can pretty well see this is a Mutt and Jeff. This is a very tall guy and a short woman. So be on the lookout. But, however, now get this. If you see them, call 911. No, do not approach. Remember, this is a guy who has nothing to lose and would no doubt kill anybody who got in his way. And her? Well, she's already risked everything she has for him. And she could be desperate. And always remember, people, desperate people do desperate things. And both of these people are no doubt heavily armed. So how have they evaded capture so far? And how can they be caught? Well, this is where our good old friend, Dog the Bounty Hunter, comes back into the picture. Now remember, he was the one who came to Florida back there during the Gabby Pito case. Put himself on the case to locate Brian. And boy, he had some predictions. He told him they were already overseas. He told him they were on the Appalachian Trail. He told him this, told him that. But my friend, he missed that one. And yo friend, Charlie Crimebuster here. Yep, yours truly. I disagreed with what Dog the Bounty Hunter said about where to find Brian. And I told you weeks before exactly where Brian was. And unfortunately, my prediction was right. And he was dead in that swamp. Now, if you didn't get that case, you need to listen to it. It's the Gabby Pito case. We have several podcasts on it. Go to our website and get caught up with the Gabby Pito case. Again, you can see that on our new PeacemakerNetwork.com. it has our podcast right there for your listening pleasure. You see, now, while he might have missed the mark in the prediction of where Brian was, well, my friend, I think now he may be having a good idea on how to catch this pair on the run. And I'm going to tell you what Dog has to say about that in just a moment. But let me first say, while we highly support law enforcement, being a part of that family ourselves, we who are in law enforcement will be the very first to tell you that in every orchard, there's a few rotten apples. And that's true in every profession, from Catholic priests to politicians, teachers, doctors, all of the above and more. There's always a few rotten apples. But do not judge the rest of the good men and women who serve those particular professions on the few rotten apples. And my friend, I want you to know there are far, far, far more, majority, 99% of the good men and women who are the thin blue line between ourselves and the dangerous people that are locked up for our safety. That's our fine, brave correctional officers. They're overworked, underpaid, underappreciated. These good men and women need our support. So today, go to peacemakernetwork.com. Support our cops. Support our first responders, our military. Join with us as a supporter. Become a badge supporter. You can do that for as little as $3 a month. And my friend, receive a vacation voucher for a 4-night hotel stay. You just pay taxes on the room, small processing fee. Retails for over $600. And boy, my friend, with all the inflation we're seeing today, you need all the help you can get if you're going to go visit anywhere, go to any great city, see something, to these resort cities, 50 of them all across the country. We're so thankful that we can share this because of our partnership with some good people who are helping us build our support in our Peacemaker Network. So go to peacemakernetwork.com. And now, if you are a first responder, go to that hero portal. Make sure all of you get to that membership page. Become a member. Support this cause. Now, Casey and Vicki, they have been on the run now for over a week. That's right. And true to life, Dog the Bounty Hunter, well, he has to get in on the hunt, you see. He says it's a matter of time before they're caught. Well, here is where I do agree with Dog the Bounty Hunter. I believe he's barking up the right tree on this one. He said it would be a great idea, get this, to check with the Airbnbs and similar rental properties in a 3,000-mile radius to see who has made long-term bookings. He went on to say, well, they probably rented an Airbnb for maybe 90 days. You can see, because she knows that being a police officer, that they have to go under right now. They have to lay low. And they have to wait till things eventually calm down and cool off. He says laying low is important. He says especially because of the physical features, him being 6'9". And he thinks because of that Vicki White is probably the one that's doing the shopping for all the supplies they need. Probably doing that in a disguise. Now, this is a high-profile case, no doubt. And the U.S. Marshals are on the trail. My friend, last year they caught, get this, 84,247 fugitives. But on the other hand, some evade capture for some time. Remember Eric Rudolph, the Olympic Park bomber? Well, he evaded capture for almost 7 years. And also remember now, it took the police 17 years to catch the Unabomber. However, my prediction, my friend, is that these two will be caught much sooner. Because today there's a new power. Social media is filled with armchair investigators, bloggers, podcasters that are sharing the story and getting the word out. So if you see something, say something. But again, I cannot stress enough, do not approach. Do not put yourself in danger. This is a dangerous situation. He has nothing to lose. She is desperate. And my friend, rest assured, while she may have turned down a gold watch for her retirement and decided to take an Inmate, a dangerous man and bust him out of the jail. She did not take the gold watch, but I guarantee you she will have to watch over her back, over her shoulder. Because my friend, my lady who has disgraced the uniform of a correctional officer by your deeds, we're coming after you. We're going to get you. We're going to catch you. So until this time next time, this is Charlie Crimebuster reminding you, be safe, be alert. Yep, for the life you save, it may be your very own.